Hi. Today we'll see how we can control the speed of a DC motor using a microprocessor or a microcontroller. Here we will use Raspberry Pi PICO and we'll use Python programming for it. So normally how do we control the speed of a DC motor? By adjusting the voltage, right? But that is not that convenient when it comes to controlling the speed of a DC motor using a digital device. So the commonly used method is called the pulse width modulation or PWM. That is what we are going to see. So this is a DC motor, battery operated BO motor, very commonly available. And this is just a clamp to ensure that the motor doesn't move around. And I will also attach a wheel so that we can see the speed of rotation. Okay, so now in order to control the DC motor, we need to have a motor driver. So here it says this is a simple motor driver which can give the required extra current for the motor. I've also got a DC power supply. I'm giving 7.2 volts for the motor, which goes through the motor controller. Now, motor controller has a digital input which is connected to our Raspberry Pi. So, port 0 is used to control the activation of the motor. Now, instead of keeping that port constantly high, we will pass it as a pulse, and the width of the pulse will decide how long the voltage is applied to the motor. That is what we are going to do. So here we have a Python code that you can see here, and the line 7 here we define a variable for speed. Then we convert the speed value into the duty cycle required for the pulse width modulation feature of the Raspberry Pi. So this line will ensure that the pulse width is set to this equivalent value. And the oscilloscope is connected so that we can see the pulse width. So let's begin with the maximum pulse width, say of 100. Okay, full speed. You don't see any pulse on the oscilloscope because it is 100. Okay, so let's make it a 90. You see this? So this is a 90, and here we have the 10%, which is plus. So this is a negative pulse width, where the 90% of the time of the cycle of one wave, the signal is held low. You see the speed, this speed corresponds to the voltage that we are giving into the 90%. Let's now make it 80 and see what happens to the pulse width. See, this section has become smaller, corresponding to 80, and this is 20, and see the speed is reduced. So this way digitally we can easily reduce the speed of DC motor. Okay, speed is reduced further. Let's make it 50. Speed is reduced further. Let's make it 30 and see if it stops or it still moves. Okay, at 30 also it moves. 20. Yes. Okay, and let's see 10. Will it move? No. Okay, so that is how we can control the speed of a DC motor using a microprocessor. So easily you can control the speed of a robot or a moving object by controlling the pulse width. So that is it for now. See you again with another video explaining how things work. Bye bye from Shogini Toys.